Hi there, it's Tony here, and today I'm going to be speaking to you about New Year's resolutions. Now we're almost at the end of January, and I can almost guarantee that the vast majority of people who've set New Year's resolutions for this year will have failed by now. So how do we know these things? What is it that makes New Year's resolutions so easy to predict? Well, the sad fact is that in the UK, there's only 58% of the population that will set a New Year's resolution. Now, the population of the UK in 2021 was 67.3 million people. 67.3 million. And of those, only 58% of them are going to set a New Year's resolution. So that is 39 million people will be setting New Year's resolutions, or will have set New Year's resolutions. Now, of those 39 million, only 8% will follow through and be successful with those New Year's resolutions. It's difficult to say that. So that is 3,120,000 people are going to be successful in the UK this year with their New Year's resolutions. Now let's just take that back a little bit. Because we're talking about 8% of the people that have tried to set them, it means that actually only 4.6% of the population will be successful with their New Year's resolutions. That is of the whole. That is a very small number of people that are actually going to be successful. And this, I'm going to round it up to 5% because that's quite an easy figure for us all to get our heads around. Generally, in all organisations, the 5% that do, 95% that just follow along. In all successful businesses, sports, we've got the 5%. There's always that 5%, and then above those we've got the 1 and the 2%ers. So why is it that so many people fall into that 95% category where they kind of don't achieve the things that they really want to do? Well, I want to take a look at that. So New Year's resolutions, why do we do them in the first place? What is it that goes, oh, this year it's going to be different? Well, the obvious thing straight away is that you're trying to move away from something that you don't like to try and get something that you do like. So it could be, and these are all just generalisations, so if they ring true with you, great. If they offend you, sorry, I've got no control over that. But let's say that you want to stop smoking, which means you might be wanting to stop smoking to improve your health, to improve how much money you've got in your back pocket. Because I'm an ex-smoker. I stopped smoking when I was 39 years old because I scared myself and I had an emotional impact, and I stopped. Bang. There on the day, screwed the fags up that I got left in the packet, threw them away. Haven't touched one since. That was an emotional impact. Now, one of the benefits of that, I worked out at the end of the year that I'd saved myself about £2,000 during the following year on what I would have spent on cigarettes. Oh, that's a new 3-piece suite. So one of the benefits, apart from getting healthy, was that we got a new 3-piece suite through the fact that I was no longer smoking. I was saving that money and we put it to good use. Could be other areas of your life. It could be the fact that you want to lose weight. It could be the fact that you've decided you're going to start going to the gym. At this time of the year, the gyms are packed, but their numbers are going to start dropping rapidly. So why is that? Okay, let's just take a look at what we're doing here. When you start with this idea, this year it's going to be different. I'm going to get up half an hour early every day and go for a run. I'm going to stop eating so much chocolate. I'm going to stop eating Ben & Jerry's ice cream. I'm going to stop drinking. I'm going to stop gambling. All these things, generally we're moving away from something that's negative, something that we don't like about ourselves. Now, when we do that, we're setting an intention. When we set an intention, we feel better about ourselves. Our spirits start to rise, our vibration levels start to rise. We start to have a little bit of hope that maybe this year it's going to be different. Maybe this year I'm going to do it. When you start, initially, it's quite easy because we're excited about it and we're going to be able to move on. We get a dopamine hit every time you do something good. Did you know that you get a dopamine hit every time you open up Facebook to see if you've got likes? But what happens over time is that those dopamine levels, they start to reduce. And then what started off as fun has now started to become a bit harder. God, I really fancy that piece of chocolate cake. Oh, I can't be asked to get up early to go and do a swim at 6 o'clock in the morning. All these things, we start changing the words that we're saying to ourselves, and we start focusing on all of the reasons why it's too hard, it's too difficult. What's the point in trying to achieve what it was that we set off it for in the first place? So what happens is we convince ourselves, oh, maybe we just can't do it. It's all right for all these other people. Maybe I'm different. Maybe I just can't do a New Year's resolution. Stuff it. Tell you what, let's try again next year. And then we rationalise and then we make it easy for ourselves because we've quit on ourselves. But we say, it's all right. We're still smoking 20 fags a day. God knows how much money that costs a year these days to smoke 20 fags a day. Or we might be gambling too much. Or we might be into pornography too much. All these things that we're trying to get away from. But we kind of convince ourselves. Our rational mind will say, it's all right, mate. And then we get away with it. So things get harder and harder and harder. We quit. What happens when we quit? We start judging ourselves. I knew I wasn't going to achieve it anyway. I'm all right as I am. You know, I'm carrying about 5 stone extra weight than I need to, but I'm happy. And then we might start criticising ourselves, and then that has a negative impact on us. So why is it that we fail? Why is it we fail with our New Year's resolutions? First one, maybe you weren't emotionally sold on the idea in the first place. So when I stopped smoking, I was emotionally sold on the idea. I didn't know any of this at the time. It's only with all the research and the learning that I've done in the last few years that has made me realise that what it was that helped me to stop smoking, bang, was number one, I made a decision. It was an irrevocable decision. Once I'd made that decision, that was it. It was a done deal. I would never touch a cigarette again. And I haven't. I was scared of dying. I was scared of dying too young. I was scared of having a heart attack in the following year because I was going to be 40 years old. Had an emotional impact on me. That gave me that burning desire to get better. And in the following year, I started training to run marathons, of which I've done quite a few in the last few years. Still run now. So I had that reason to stop smoking. I might not have had a reason to stop eating chocolate cakes. I might not have had a reason to stop drinking or to stop gambling or whatever other habit it was. Another area where we can fail is that when we're getting rid of something, we're trying to lose weight, which is getting rid of. That's negative in itself, trying to lose something. If you lost 50 quid, you'd be aware of it, wouldn't you? So we're not trying to lose weight, we're trying to release weight, extra energy. But if we replace the old with something new that is going to benefit us, then we're not going to leave the vacuum in the middle. Because if we stop doing something, we're just going to replace it with something else. So we have to replace the old negative, whatever it is, with something that is positive. Because the universe doesn't like a vacuum. It always fills it. So if you just stop doing something that's not helping you, you're going to replace it with something else that's not helping you. So you might stop drinking and start gambling, or you might turn to porn or drugs, or whatever it is. Okay, you might become a spendthrift. So you've got to replace it with something that's good. When you're setting these goals for a New Year's resolution, maybe you've set one that's just far too easy. You can do it, it's doddle. But then you get bored with it. Or maybe you've set one that's just completely unrealistic. an unrealistic goal for me would be that this year I'm going to win the gold medal in the Olympics in the marathon. It's a ridiculous goal. I haven't got the body to be able to do it. I haven't got the desire to do it. I haven't got the talent. Okay? So that would be a ridiculous goal to set. It has to be one that you've at least got a chance of doing. So we've got to set one that's not too easy. We've got to set one that's actually achievable in the first place. And then what we have to do is, when I changed to going out lots of running, I used to log all my runs. So I could actually track how I was improving. I could run for X number of miles more this week. My heart rate would stay down lower, running at a certain pace. I could run faster. In races, I was starting to move up through the field, so I was getting far closer to the front end of the field, rather than being in an also run right at the back. So we're logging these things as we're going along. You can apply this to all areas of your life. You can apply it to areas of your business. Maybe you want to be getting more clients, but you're not tracking how you're trying to get clients. And then it just all becomes fuzzy, and then we stop doing it. And then you wonder, oh, why haven't I got the clients? Maybe we're putting limits on ourselves at the top end. Maybe we're putting ceilings on ourselves. I remember Paula Radcliffe, after she ran the London Marathon in 2 hours 15 and broke the world record, she was the first British person to cross the finishing line in the London Marathon that year. There wasn't even a bloke that beat her. And they said, what time were you going for? And she goes, I never set myself a time when I'm going into a race. Why would I want to put a limit on myself that I can only get to that? I want to see what I can do. So she didn't have an upper limit. So set yourself something that's really good. You've got to have accountability. You've got to be able to track what you're doing. If you haven't, you're just going to fall into very, very poor places. And you've got to replace the old negative with something that's positive. Now that's New Year's resolutions. You can apply this to all areas of your life. You don't have to wait until December the 31st to set a New Year's resolution. I stopped smoking just before my 40th birthday, which is in mid-December, and I stopped on that day. I didn't wait until the 31st of December to stop smoking. I stopped at the top of the stairs. I ran up 2 flights of stairs, out of breath, screwed up the fags, threw them away. Stopped smoking there. That was 2 weeks before New Year's Eve. Make the decision. Don't wait. Don't put it off. And once you've decided that you're going to do something, make yourself accountable, involve somebody else that you can trust, and move towards it. If you can get into the habit of ticking off some of these boxes, you're going to become part of the 5%. That's the 5% that do. If you can achieve succeeding with your New Year's resolution, regardless of what it is, no matter how small it is, no matter how big it is, how is that going to make you feel? You're going to feel damn good about yourself. You might then say to yourself, if I can do that, maybe I can do this. Can you see what's happening? You're starting to open the doors of possibility to all the other things that you can achieve. Get into that 5% group. I hope this has resonated with some of you. Okay? It's only with looking back at past behaviours that I've realised where I've held myself back in the past and where I've succeeded and not known why I've succeeded. And this is something that's really powerful. The more you go through life, the more you begin to understand yourself and why you've done the things that you've done, the more you understand other people. The more you understand other people, the more people you can help. That's all that we're trying to do. So I hope this has helped you, and let us know in the comments below. Did you set a New Year's resolution? Are you still going for it, or have you quit? Are you going to set a February the 1st resolution? Or are you going to set a December? Are you going to set a January the 23rd resolution? Doesn't matter what the day is. Set it today. Do it now. Don't think about it. Just get it done. Anyway, thanks a lot. We'll speak to you again soon. Cheers.